Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another episode of The Elder Scrolls II: Daggerfall. We have just escaped Privateer's Hold, and let us see what we have to do now. We have an auto map, which is not available here. We have... what do we have? We've got these books, and that's about it. Now, you can read these books. Go ahead and use these books to read them, and that lets you get a lot of information about the lore in the game. And many of the games that appear in later titles of this series, or many of the books that appear in later titles of this series, have their origins in some way, shape, or form in the books in Daggerfall. Many of them get changed later on, especially because some of the books have content that doesn't exactly fly with all of the modern ESRB ratings and such. So, you know, if you want to take time to read them, you certainly can. I believe some versions of Daggerfall, you can actually look in the text files and just read all the books straight up. Or you can get them on the unofficial Elder Scrolls site. There's an unofficial Elder Scrolls pages that has readouts of all of the books in all of the games. So, if you're ever interested in lore, I encourage you, if you're not a regular user of uesp.net, and you're interested in the Elder Scrolls, I encourage you to check it out. I may put a link in the description below. So, what do we got to do here? We have to go somewhere. Now we have to go to Daggerfall, and Daggerfall is all the way down here, I believe. As you can see, all of these little dots, this is the auto map. This is just the Daggerfall province. Or, not province. Okay. Let's go ahead and clear our heads. This is the High Rock province. This is the north part of the Hammerfell province. Both of these are individual provinces within the greater empire. Now, these individual things here, these little political boundaries, they're individual countries, since the empire is actually, you know, a collection of smaller countries, not just provinces. And they really have the kind of area of early medieval kingdoms. Like, for instance, you know, they're used to in British history, there was always multiple kingdoms on the British Isle. It wasn't just England. It was England, Wales, Scotland, and so on and so forth. And then as you go further back, they got broken up into increasingly smaller areas. And that's kind of the situation here, where each one of these is a requisite kingdom within a single province. Now, you can see the scale of this game. All these little dots represent locations you can go to. Now, you can filter them by dungeons, individual homes. There's like little homesteads out there, temples, like standalone temples, and then towns of various sizes. Now, as you go in, I think you can zoom in. Hold on. Yeah, you can zoom in. You will note that even when you filter them out, let's go for towns. They're different shades. And the brighter the town, the more people are in it, the larger it is. So these really bright ones, they are full-size towns. If you go down here, you can see, I think actual Daggerfall is somewhere around here. Yeah, see Daggerfall/Daggerfall. That is a full-size city. And then you get these little dark ones that are a little more than inns with a few buildings around them. And the same with homes. You know, as you can see, homes, some of these homesteads are full-on manor houses for local nobles. Some are just little shacks that you can visit. Same with dungeons, same with temples. Now, you'll note we're very close to what's called Privateer's Hold. There we go. That's our starting point. That's where we're at. Go ahead and click on I'm at. Whoops. As you can see, I'm at right outside of Privateer's Hold. you don't start with all of the dungeons revealed. You start with just basically your graveyards revealed. Now the graveyards are they're little more than just tiny little, what's what they sound like. They're graveyards with a large crypt in them. Now that large crypt may only be 5 rooms deep. They can be useful if you're looking for quick cash or if you're looking for undead. And it's actually while you're on the process of getting to Daggerfall, it's actually sometimes helpful to hit some of these graveyards on the way down and do mini dungeon crawls just for the loot. And in fact, that is what we're going to do. We'll set a course. Let's see. We don't need to go to Daggerfall right now, but we do need to hit a town so we can start selling stuff. However, we need some stuff to sell. So right now I will click on one of these graveyards. You can select whether to go cautiously or recklessly. Recklessly gets you there faster, but it doesn't camp out at night. It doesn't care whether you arrive during the day or the night, and that can become problematic. If you arrive at some towns at night, you can have night encounters, including ghosts, robbers, that sort of thing. If you're a vampire and you travel recklessly, then it's entirely possible that you can arrive during the day. As a vampire, that can be pretty rough. For these short distances, you know, you'll see the travel time doesn't really change much. You can stop for the night at inns or camp out. I think camping out subjects you to a chance of a random encounter, but it's so dreadfully low that it really doesn't matter much, and it lets you travel for cheap. Now as for transport, it doesn't matter because I'm only traveling like a day away, but if you're traveling over a long period of time, ship is faster. It's more expensive, but it's faster. It basically means that you can go out on one of these ports and then travel all the way around the sea to wherever you need, to the point closest to where you need to be, and then go the rest of the way on foot and or horse. I believe once you get a horse that the overland travel is even faster, but I'm not 100% on that. And this is how the fast travel in this game is much more complex than in later games. Now as you can see, I rested on the way, so I got a lot of little individual level ups. Not enough to actually level up, but you know, some skill ups rather. Now I am outside of a graveyard, so let's yeah, see, the music changed. So as you can see, there's a crypt there, and I just need to find the way to it. Now ordinarily you can go ahead and go the long way around all of this, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop the hedge if I can. Come on, let me hop the hedge. Okay, am I going to be able to hop the hedge? No, I'm not going to be able to hop the hedge. Alright. I'm going to try to run across. And I'm just going to try to find the way inside. I'm going to do this little miniature dungeon crawl here just to show you what to expect from these tiny dungeons. It's not going to be much. It's going to be like a, you know, maybe a few bats. I don't know. But we go inside. Now these little dungeons tend to be as buggy, if not more buggy, than the large ones. So a lot of times you'll hear like the squeaking of bats, but be unable to see them, that sort of thing. Let's go downstairs. Someone opened a door, and it's a thief of some sort. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, so he's kicking my ass. So what we need to do is just go ahead and pretend I'm a mage, which I am, and shock him. That's not what I wanted to do. I accidentally strafed. Okay, I'm dead. So, you know, I'm not going to show every time I die in this game. But if I die like immediately after a save point, yeah, I'll go ahead and show you the last one. But we'll go ahead and cut to where I get back to that little place. Alright, see you on the other side. Alright, I'm back in the dungeon. Let's go ahead and try to kill this thing a little bit more reasonably this time. Okay, there is our thief. This time he's got a freaking bow. Let's go ahead and get shock on my cursor. Okay, this time he died real freaking quick. Let's see what he had on him. Gold. Don't need the longsword. Got all that stuff. I think my shield's better. Yeah, my shield's better. Alright. So let's see what is in each of these rooms here. Got some stuff on the floor. Can I come over here and pick it up? Gold, but then I got a potion of restore power. That is very useful for a mage. Lets you basically restore your mana, which, you know, it's self-explanatory. Now, neck's bothering me. So now we're going to continue and just basically go room to room and see what this dungeon has to offer. As you can hear a rat. I'm not really seeing any piles of loot laying around. The dungeon layouts are all the same, the dungeon layouts on a particular dungeon tends not to change very much. However, the loot layout and the monsters do. Okay, I'm having trouble hitting this thing. Come on, kill it. That's my phobia kicking in. Okay, good. I was concerned there were 2 or 3 rats there. I mean, there are. It's just they're in other rooms, I believe. Okay. More gold. I'm finding a lot of gold, which is good because I can upgrade my stuff. Green berries. Basically ingredients. I may be making potions in this. There we go. There's that other rat. As you can tell, the hit points on this game and the damage in this game is really random. It's more noticeable at first level. Later on, your bonus damage and your bonus hit points kind of make the variance less. You know, if it's doing 1 to 8 damage is a huge range, but doing 1 to 8 plus 8 damage, it reduces the effective range to just 50% instead of 100%. Okay. Got a skull with a little burning hairdo. It's kind of a torch. And I gotta look in every single one of these in case there's treasure sitting around the corner. Okay, there's not. Alright, so this dungeon is clear. Now, I haven't showed the maps. There are, you know, individual maps. Hit M for auto map. Now the maps in Daggerfall are the most confusing part. It's a 3D map where you can select a particular object, you can scroll in, you can scroll out, you know, you can move it around, and you can eventually tilt it, and so on and so forth. You know, you can zoom in. Let's see. I'm trying to find the keyboard shortcut, but I'm not able to. Okay, you can like move it around laterally. You can zoom out and zoom in because it's all 3D. But they hadn't really figured out how to do full 3D maps effectively at this point. So that's what you get. If you once you get practiced, it's not that bad. But in some of these dungeons, you can be sitting there scrolling for days just to find out where the hell you are. Okay, then watch my frame rate dip for absolutely no reason. Okay, and that is that. And as you can see, you can hit several towns and or several dungeons on each crawl. Now, in order to get a dungeon actually marked on your map, there's 2 ways to do it. First of all, when you get a quest that sends you to a dungeon, it'll mark the dungeon on your map, and then you can revisit it at any point. Alternatively, you can get scrolls as loot in the dungeon, and when you read them, it says the map to dungeon whatever, then it marks that on your map. In both instances, unless you keep a log of what dungeons you know about, it is next to impossible to figure them out, because even with the filter on, you'll be bouncing in and out trying to figure out where each dungeon is. And you got to remember, you've got all of this to go through too, and each one of these things has has its own map and its own list of dungeons and towns. So it's one of those games where you need to take notes, but the effort to take notes is almost not worth it. So let's go to Chesterward. We'll go ahead and sell our couple things that we've got so far, our books and so forth, and try to get ourselves a better weapon. I doubt we'll be able to find one, but hey. Now, as you can see, unlike Arena, there's no border between the town and the outside world. You're just either in town or you're not. I mean, there's no zoning or whatever. Chesterward. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I'm healthy, and it tells you your legal status and so on and so forth. Because you can have different legal statuses for each different province. Now, this is the conversation screen. When you're polite, you use etiquette. When you're blunt, you use streetwise, and when you're normal, I think it's just a basic personality check. And different people respond better to different things based on their faction. Now you can ask. It's similarly to Arena. You can ask them about all kinds of shit, but like 9 times out of 10, you're only going to be asking them about a few things. Now, if they know where a certain thing is. If they know where a certain type of building is, then if you ask them enough times, they'll mark it on your map. Okay. See, first he marked that off right off the bat. Let's say we go to that one. Okay, he doesn't know it, but if they know it at all, I know that was a bad choice. Let's go to banks. There are banks. Because gold in this game actually weighs something, so you can actually become laden down with gold. At which point you need to put your gold in a bank, and you get a certificate of deposit. Okay, this guy's real kind. He's marking everything on my map. My general, my general technique whenever I enter a new place is to just basically get as much marked on the map as I can. See, it took me like 5 tries to get that marked on my map. And I may not get everything, but I'll get enough so I don't have to be searching individual buildings for shit. Okay. Ways east of here, east of here, east, east, east. Come on. Mark it on my damn map. There we go. And so on and so forth. So let me get everything marked on my map. So, on these stores, each of these stores has a different quality, and that quality will modify what they pay for things and what kinds of things they may have in stock. So the game is more complex really than it needs to be. I mean, all of this stuff is shown to great effect in later Elder Scrolls games, but there's just so much filler content in Daggerfall that some of these really great ideas kind of fall by the wayside. It's like, yeah, in Oblivion, for instance, there's different stores that offer different things within a particular town, but there's not like 8 stores in a particular town. So this Daggerfall also has a number of guilds you can join, and this is basically your info dump. If you're familiar with the game, then you don't need to hear it. If not, then you may as well listen on. There's your standard Fighters Guild, which you can join, and they give you Fighters Quest. Mages Guild gives you not only Mages Quest, but lets you design spells and make magic items. And then there are the various Knights Temples. And each Knight Temple, they're divided by geographical region, and they're almost like Paladin Temples or Knight Temples. They're kind of a combination between Fighter Guilds and Temples. Now, having mentioned temples, most places, see local temples. Aside from the temples out on the world map, there are temples in each town. And these temples you can join as well. And I believe you can only join 1 Knight Guild and 1 temple. But they basically offer services similar to a Mage's Guild, but not quite to the same extent. Like, You can make potions, you can buy certain things, that sort of thing. Pawn shops will buy like anything. So it's always good to have at least one on your map. 2 if you're better. Ah, fuck. Alright. Taverns appear on your map in green, so you really don't need to know the taverns unless you're looking for a particular tavern. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, there's the palaces, which is allows you to get various noble quests. Now, in Arena, you could ask after general rumors and potentially get artifact quests, the Daedric artifacts, but in this one, you actually have to summon Daedra. So, right now, oh, you can mark the map. I forgot about that. Come on. I'm not trying to get that. I'm trying to move around on the map. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you have to join the Mage's Guild or some temple and summon Daedra on a particular, or summon a Daedric prince on a particular day in order to get the Daedric artifact quest. So it's kind of like a step up towards what you see in Morrowind and later games, where you have to go to a particular Daedric shrine to learn it, to get the quest. In this one, you actually have to summon it at the Mage's Guild. As you can see, these green ones are taverns. There's a Fighters Guild, and so on and so forth. I think right off the bat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Dr. Edware's Sundries and sell what I can in there. This should be the building right here, like right off the bat. Now, fortunately, in this game, they did away with the haggling. So let's go in here, and you'll see this pops up. This gives you a clue as to the quality of the shop that you've just entered. And it's important to understand that later, especially if you do a lot of breaking and entering. Because if you're in the Thieves Guild or you're playing a thief-type character, you can actually enter these stores after dark and rob them blind. And when you're doing that, you really want to look for a store that's got high-quality gear so that you can steal it. But I'm just trying to get the best. I'm just trying to offload stuff. One thing about shops that are higher quality is that the merchants have a higher mercantile skill, and that will affect your purchase and sale options. Now, here's how selling things and buying things works in this game. And those of you who've played Daggerfall, you're probably not going to be very interested in this playthrough until I get all the basics out of the way. You know, I got a lot of people. Well, I don't have a lot of people, but I've got some people who watch me that have no idea how some of these older games work. So let's go ahead and get to this speech mode. I think as long as you're in grab mode, you can still talk to them. It's in it defaults. Just make damn sure you're not in steal mode. Now, this is a shopkeeper. He can repair items. You can straight up talk to him, and he may give you quests, or you can sell your items. Now, you don't purchase through this menu, but you sell. And this should, you know, you have everything is in a different category up here. Let's sell that stuff and get this stuff sold. He does not buy ingredients, so none will show up, and I kind of want to keep that shirt. So I've loaded everything up. It's worth 3,190, but he gives you, you know, an offer based off of that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take it, even though it's not the greatest, just to get some money in my pocket. Now, if you want to buy anything in these shops, you got to open these shelves like this, and it basically opens up over here. This lets you buy individual things. You can see a horse on a shelf. Cart lets you carry all kinds of stuff. So if you're really into loot, and you will be if you play this game seriously, you'll want to get a horse and a cart eventually. Let's see, various clothing. There's some parchment. You know, there's the books. And the Dai Katana, which is your basic two-handed katana, and a bunch of other stuff. Now you'll note each one of these shelves has a different inventory, so it can be a real pain in the ass to shop around sometimes. Look, I've already got some dwarven stuff showing up. There you go. Now, if you're in a shop, you want to be real careful, because if you start opening containers that are not in this main shop area here, you can start getting tagged for stealing. And he'll probably see you, because merchants are just that good. So if you go up here and start looking through his actual... You can actually go up here and start looking through his actual rooms and stuff. But if you try to get stuff off the shelf, if it lets you open the shelf, then you're probably going to get tagged for stealing. So you want to avoid that. If you're in a shop... And here's the kicker, is that some shops, and I'm going to save the game real quick, because I want to try out. Some of these shops actually have... oh crap, that's not what I wanted to do. No, tell me I didn't sell that. Okay, let me look. Clothing and miscellaneous, weapons and armor, okay. I just want to make sure I didn't actually dump my shield in there. Yes, some of these shops have actual shelves that you can shop in on the second and third levels. And it's really a pain in the ass. This is where this guy should be keeping his you know, it says his bedroom. He should be keeping his normal stuff there. And yet that's a shoppable container. But then sometimes you'll hit a container and it's not shoppable. So, you know, I don't know what's going on there. But as you can tell, shopping can get really freaking complex. And then you've got this chick. I have no idea who that is. Who is that? That is Morgoth Wicksmith. You can automatically know somebody's name just by, you know, running up to him. Alright. So that having been said, let's that having been shown, I need to get out of saying that. That having been shown, you know what? I don't have anything I need to buy here. A horse would be nice, yes. But for now, I'm going to save my money and go to an armory or a weaponsmith and pick up, you know, weapons and armor there. So where did they show the weapons and armor? Let's look around town real quick. There's the bank. There's antiquities. Sometimes these places, yeah, here we go. Sometimes these places will have a little arrangement of shops like that, and that's always nice because usually there's one of everything there. Now, of course, I sold a bunch of stuff to the pawn shop. That's not the best prices, but it got the job done. One-stop shop. And there's a lot of just basically running to and fro when you're selling stuff in this game. Now, that's the Fighters Guild. A lot of times the Fighters Guild will be in a little moat area like that. Once you played this game a while, everything starts to look similar because they've got a limited number of objects. It's a pretty big limited number of objects, but, you know, it is still a limited number of objects. So that's your jeweler. Over here is some sort of armory or smith, and I believe there's one over there if the pattern holds true. Because I think I may have actually been to this town before. Yes, so here, you see, that's an armory, and that over there is a general smith and or a weapon shop. What's more important? I think a decent sword that can actually do damage is more important. So let's run over and try to buy a weapon. Okay. Now this shop is not as big as most. You know, there's your blacksmith kind of hammering away. I think there's only a couple, you know. And armor and weapons shops will have armor in them, just of lower quality. Let's see this. This is chain? Yeah, that's chain. Does each side have something different? No, it's the same one. Okay. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I think these particular shelves only have the one, so. An elven saber, not bad. Problem is I don't know if a saber is a long blade or a short blade. I want something that's clearly, you know, a long blade. Chain gauntlets. Daikatana is always going to be a long blade, but yeah. I'm not seeing anything spectacular. I think those are chain, yeah. And did I just look at the same shelf twice? Yes, I did. Okay, this guy doesn't have a whole lot of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess this guy don't have anything. Yeah, let's get out of here. I don't want to accidentally rob him while I'm trying to cruise around. Ah, maneuvering is so difficult in these halls. Also, you'll note that some of these places are laid out really strange. For instance, this one doesn't actually have a door where I came in at. You have to go all the way over to this other door, and as you step out, it goes there. Okay. So let's head over here, and yeah, go ahead and enter this next shop, and I hope this one has a better selection. Once again, only 3 stands, and this is an armor shop, clearly. Now, if I can't find a weapon that is useful, that is undoubtedly a long blade, I may just buy some armor, because at least then I'll be able to, you know, defend myself. Steel die katana. Okay. Steel as in steel, right pauldron. And what I will do is I will sell my greaves. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, sales and a different thing. So I've got the right pauldron, and do I have a shield? Yeah, a shield that I want. It's gonna be 1,000. 927. That's not bad. It's less than the asking price. So we'll go ahead and sell, you know, the 2 things that I have here. 59. Yeah, I guess that works. Okay, and some gauntlets. 603. Okay, sure. And sell my... Thought I had some gloves. I guess not. Anyway. Anything else? Do I have anything else that I need to worry about? No, I don't think so. So this is about what I've got. It's just basically some basic armor. And I really didn't even need to buy that. It's just that, yeah, I'm gonna find upgrades real quick right off the bat, but as you saw earlier, I was dying to rats and basic thieves, so I want to get some sort of sustainability. Now, this city does supposedly have a Mage's Guild, and I suspect this is it. And rather than ask around, I'm just going to walk over there and check it out. Now, why do I want to join the Mage's Guild? Because they offer all sorts of stuff. Now, one thing you're doing, or one thing you need to look out for in this game is that way early in the game, you receive a note. And it's a note regarding your quest. And it may not show up immediately, but sometimes it's bugged so that it actually just appears in your inventory without ever actually telling you. So one thing you want to do is periodically check your inventory just in case somebody, you know, pickpocketed a note into your inventory. Okay. To the north is this, whatever it is, this guild. I think that's the north, yeah. So this building is the guild. I suspect it's a Mage's Guild. Let's go ahead and move around. It's as you can see on the map, it's in blue. So yeah, see that's a Mage's Guild sign. The eye. They're not quite as flashy as they are in Arena. They're also much more involved than they are in Arena. So let's see. Let's talk to this guy. We'll join the guild. Yes, you are worthy to join the Mage's Guild. As an apprentice, you can use the Spellmaker, which is very nice, especially for training up spells, and get training in any of the guild skills. Later, you will become eligible to use the library, buy magical items, and even make your own. Are you interested in joining? Yes. Then henceforth, you will be known as RPG Crawler, apprentice of the Mage's Guild. It will take patience and hard effort to gain access to all the guild offers, my child. But I can now give you access to our trainers and our Spellmaker. Too much power in too little time has destroyed many a man and woman. The Mage's Guild is nothing if not conscientious. That is bullshit, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I need basically to buy spells. Now I can make my own spells, but I've only got I don't know how much gold I actually have because it doesn't show you on this screen. So let me check how much gold I have real quick. Oh, I don't need to have that out. I have 163 gold pieces, so I don't have a shitload of gold. What I need to do is get some sort of healing spell. So heal or Baelna's Bomb, which is also heal. I'll get Baelna's Bomb because that looks like a very low-end spell that I've got. Let's see, now let's go into our spells, and we've got it right here. Just enough to heal us up on things, so that much is good. Now, there are quests available from this place. I'm not 100% on whether I think there's a particular NPC that gives the quests, and you always want to go to that one because when you otherwise just talk to them, they give you quests that may or may not be part of the Mage's Guild quest line. The problem is that, oh yeah, you can teleport from Mage Guild to Mage Guild if you've got scads of money and you need to get across the kingdom very swiftly, which I can't understand why you would, but that's that. This guy is the Daedric summoning I told you about to get artifact quests. I may go ahead and talk to those front guys to see if I can get any quests from that. See what this guy has to say. He can identify magic items. So remember that shirt? Identify. 35 gold? Yes. And what is it? A healing long shirt. Oh, okay, very nice. I don't necessarily know that I need to wear it, but I'm going to switch back to my robes. But I can use that item to heal things, or to heal myself with. So if I run out of magic, need a heal, I can whip out that shirt and heal myself. This guy sells more spells, probably the more advanced spells. And you know, you don't really need to buy the spells if you got access to the spell maker. It's just I find it easier at first to buy spells rather than make them. This is the guy you talk to make magic items later on, and trying to find the person that gives you the quests. This is another spell maker. This place is a little bit complex. Have I been back here? There's a guard back here. And this is just a library, I think. Let me talk to that guy just in case. Nope, he's just a guard. Basically what I want to do is find somebody to give me a Mage Guild related quest. This is the guy that offers training. Training is extremely useful in this game, just to guarantee a certain number of skill ups. Not 100% necessary though. Let me talk to this guy. Okay, so he's got a quest, but he's not going to give it to us because I'm not high enough ranked. This is the guy I talked to at first. Let's see if he doesn't give us a quest. No, he doesn't. Ah, here we go. This guard gives you a quest for some ungodly reason. Okay. Hello, RPG Crawler. Good to see you again. The guild needs your help, my friend. Have you ever heard of the Necromancers? They are a powerful band of mages with black magic powers. It appears that they have decided that Daggerfall is a good place to take over. They are building up an army in a place called Castle Necromancers. We need someone to stop this. Can you go there and shut down their little operation? Yes. Only one of the Necromancer mages needs to be killed. He is the leader. I don't know what else you'll find in Castle Necromancers. You'd best hurry, though. You must be done in 39 days. Good luck, RPG. You'll need it. Alright. I like how it actually splits your name if you've got a space, so that it actually detects, you know, which one to use first. RPG space crawler, and it just terminates it at RPG sometimes. But sometimes it uses the whole thing. So that was our first dungeon crawl quest, and you know what? Let's see where it is. I will get there, and then I will call it. Now, you've got 39 days to get there. I'm going to take all the towns off, and I'm going to start looking for a dungeon that's not red. Okay, here we go, all the way up here. Castle Necromancers. So I'm going from all the way over here to all the way over here. 39 days is my my time. If I go cautiously, it'll take me 14 days to get there. I don't have enough gold to do inns on the way, so I'll have to be camping out. So 14 days to get there, 14 days back. It's not gonna leave me a lot of time in that dungeon. If I go recklessly, I can get there in 7. I think I'm gonna do that. So let's start that. Okay, dry bones are littered everywhere. Now you get a bunch of different quest types in this game, and to be perfectly honest, going into a dungeon is sometimes risky because some dungeons don't actually have exits. It's like you enter and it puts the exit behind a wall or something. So always, always, always save the game before you go in, and later on, after I get Mark and Recall, those are going to come in useful because sometimes you can actually literally get lost in a dungeon. So it's always best to mark yourself outside of the dungeon, and then later on recall out of the dungeon. So that's always something to worry about. So let's head on in. Okay, I've got an exit right by me. I've got dungeon corridors every way. Just making sure the exit works. Okay, so I will do this dungeon crawl next time. Go ahead and leave it off here as just basically a joining the Mage Guild and a tutorial level. This has been the RPG Crawler with Daggerfall. If you like what you've seen, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more playthrough of Daggerfall. Until next time, take care and goodbye.